Hey there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're watching this. This is Mondgalthri. Or today I feel so happy and so excited. This is because I'm feeling good. Yesterday I spent my entire day in the bed because I was sick. From the previous day of yesterday, I got vaccinated. Um, and that injection, man, was so powerful that I got sick yesterday, but today I feel great. I have totally recovered. I am back to being me. Now that that has happened, we can get back to the story time. And today we are going to talk about seizing opportunities or seizing moments. Stay tuned. So there is this guy. We are not going to name this guy. We'll basically not call him any name. And he comes from a very poor family. Now, later on, you're going to see why we did not name him, and that's why we will not name him, and you get to know why. So, he comes from a very poor family, but he he is in his early adulthood, and he aspires to marry. Now, in his area, he notices this beautiful girl. Now, this girl, we need to name her. So, let me think of a name. So, I'm going to call her Aisha. Yeah, that would work. So, this guy notices Aisha, and he's like, wow, I need to talk to this girl. And so, time goes by. He's still shy about talking to this girl, but they meet a number of times. And so this guy mans up and decides to talk to Aisha. So he just goes ahead and tells Aisha about making friends with her. Aisha is a very friendly person. So they get to know each other and they start, they become friends. So after a long time, this guy decides it's time to tell Aisha how I feel about her. She makes me feel different. When I'm with her, nothing else matters. So the guy feels he needs to tell Aisha. So he goes ahead and tells Aisha how he feels about her. Aisha is very surprised. And she's like, wow, you've been a very good friend to me. I can totally consider you. So if you're a serious guy, I have nothing against you. And so the guy is like, yay, finally. But Aisha tells this guy, I like dating a guy who is serious. And the seriousness to Aisha means if a guy can confess to her how he feels about her, do not be afraid to go tell her parents about how he feels about her. So he tells this to this guy, and this guy says, well, I can do this. So they set a date when Aisha can actually take this guy to her family. So the day comes, uh, they had set a location where they should meet. Aisha uh, picks the guy and goes to their home. Well, Aisha comes from a wealthy family. By the face of their home, the guy was just amazed at what he was seeing. Aisha, Aisha's family owned a ranch, a big one. They had every livestock, horses, cattle. They got, you know, all types of farm animals. Plus, uh, there are also great cultivation in the land. But far from that, they also had this beautiful mansion. So Aisha welcomes this guy into their house. This guy is just amazed at everything. The family of Aisha welcomes this guy in a very friendly manner. They they eat and drink. Later on, Aisha and her mother depart, leaving this guy with Aisha's father. Aisha's father says to this guy, "Tell me about yourself." The guy talks about himself. Now, the father could discern that this guy comes from a very poor family based on what they talked. And so he decides to tell the guy, "Now, I'm not going to ask much from you. I have one challenge, and if you can actually do this, you can have my girl and all the blessings you need." The guy says, "Wow, that's great. I think I can do it." And so the father and this guy walk out of the house and they get to the barn. The father talks to this guy and tells him, "I'm going to release three bulls. Now, if you can hold any of them by the tail, you are sure to have my girl with all my blessings. Now, I just need you to hold. You don't need to grab it for a long time, but just try to hold the tail. And once I see you do that, you can have Aisha." And the guy says, "That's good. Sure, I'll do that." And so the father walks into the barn, leaving the guy outside the barn by the door, and he releases the first bull. It's a huge one. The guy looks at the bull coming and he decides, "Wow, this one is so huge. I don't think I can do anything about this." And he stands still and lets the bull pass. "Well," he says, "I still got two." The father releases a second one, and the second comes running. It is so fast. It's not as huge as the first one, but the guy says, "This is just too fast. I don't think I can do anything about it." So he lets it pass, and off it goes. Now, there was the third one. Now the guy says, "This one I have to. I must hold it by the tail." And so he looks into the barn and he sees this little bull. It's a cow, basically, running, coming toward the door of the barn. And so the guy says, "This one I must." He prepares himself, and when he goes to grab the tail, there was none. It didn't have a tail. And you see, the father comes out and says, "I released three bulls. Man, how could you not even try to hold one? Trying. So the father said, "You cannot have my daughter. How can I be sure you take care of my daughter?" And that's how this guy that we did not name did not have Aisha. What is the point of this? Seizing moments, taking advantage of every opportunity you got. So, there are many things you might aspire to do, like you want to see that friend you have not seen over a long time, but you keep postponing. Uh, there is that sick friend or sick person in the hospital, and you've been planning to go see them, but you have never. Uh, there is that bad habit that you want to kick out of your life, but you haven't even started. You say, "I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it a future time," but we only really have today. So this moment you have is only when you can do what you can do. After here, you may not have the next moment that you think you will do it. So basically, take advantage of the moment you get to do something positive. See you in the next one.